Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at how you can create labels using Microsoft Office's mail merge. Labels would mean that you are putting multiple records or like names, asset numbers, whatever, on a single page. And so what this looks like is that on each page there's going to be next record as well as the information you want on each one. This is a very easy way to get a lot of information on one thing and then have it in the exact way ready to print off of your printer or whatever you're sending it to. In this example, we're going to take a look at making name and asset tags that are scannable. While I could show it with other things, this is something I've used a lot to be able to make an asset tag. Depending on your labels, and depending on your scanner, you might need something else. Now, if you want to just do this with names or grades or other things, that's totally fine. And you can kind of ignore that step. What you'll need to do if you want something like that is you need to add the barcode font to your fonts. And the barcode font that I'm using is Libre Barcode 39 text. There is one that is not text, so just Libre Barcode 39. The text will actually show what the information is, and I personally prefer that over having, just a barcode and then having to put the text, above it or below it, or just not showing it. Again, it's up to you. In this, if you've never added a font before, you'll need to find this file, and I should be able to share it in the links, and if not, I'll have more details there. But what you'll need to do is go to your OS, go to Windows, and then go to Fonts, and then drag that file there. You can, of course, Google search for free barcode fonts or, somewhere there. Just make sure that the websites you're going to are legit. I'll try to add one that I used. I installed this a few years ago, so honestly, I don't remember. I know Google has their own fonts that you can search, and it's on there. I'd probably start there. Hopefully, I can just share the one that I have, and you can download that if you want. And if not, again, you can just kind of skip that one, and that's totally fine. In the previous video, I did a mail merge for letters, and if you wanted to go and look at that, you can to get that. We'll kind of go through all the steps again. Reminder, you can't do it on 365. You have to have the app in order for the mail merge to work. Again, if you look up mail merge, it'll say looking for mail merge, open in desktop app. The first step of this, outside of getting this text font if you want, is to make sure that you have your data ready in an Excel or .csv or whatever spreadsheet file that you want for this. You can connect data as well, but again, for this example, it's there. Now, the one that I'm going to use looks like this. And you might recognize most of this from the last video I did. I just decided to add the asset name, like this is assigned to the person, the barcode, and then this is the asset number. Now with this font specifically, again, the Libre Barcode 39, and let's see, is this 30? Oh no, that's 128. I guess if you're looking at the screen here, this isn't the same ones, but that's what the barcode without numbers looks like. So Libre Barcode 39 versus with text. Now again, these two are the ones that are different. I didn't actually download that because I just always want this. But what you have to do in order for it to scan is you need to have the number that you want it to scan, and you need to put asterisk in front and back. So I just use concatenate asterisk, this asset number asterisk, and that does it there. And I do actually have my scanner here, and I'll just put it over here, and I'm scanning that first one, and what it puts is that number in the box. So if I scan the second one, third, fourth, so on. And so asset tags are very, very helpful for that. And you could use it for a lot. I mean, you can use it with someone's name if you want, and then scan the name and then have their name populate here. I mean, again, just make sure that you have the asterisk over it. Otherwise, it's not going to scan. And those are start and stop codes if you're interested. So just tells the system that you're able to scan it, and that's legit. In this one, we have this asset barcode, we have the name, and we have the number, just in case we want that. And while I have this in this format here in Excel, you really don't need to. It's going to be dependent in the letter or the mailing address that makes a difference. So I'm just going to go to the Word document. Here, I don't have anything actually, and that's okay. I'm going to start by going to Mailings, Start Mail Merge, and this time I'm going to go to Labels. When I do Labels, it is basically changing the format of it, and I can select whichever ones I want. Now, there's a huge list of different labels, and so you'll want to make sure that you're finding the brand that you have. In my case, it's Avery's US letter. And then in this example, the one I actually have here is a 6576. So, should be 65, way too far. This is just basically going to show and have the template in the exact size it's needed for it. And in this one, there's going to be 4 by 8. So there's 32 per page. Very important that you start with this so that we know in the mail merge that you're wanting labels. So now when I push start, it's labels, go to the next one. And here we want to use the current docs now. Again, if you wanted to do label options, you can kind of change stuff, go to the next. Now it's going to be select recipients. So I'm going to browse. Again, it'll start by going to your data sources. I'm going to go to downloads. Even though this looks like the one, I'm actually doing that mail merge data again. Mail data, open. Just looking. And here that was the barcodes. You can see that it just has the asterisk, the number, asterisk. So this is the one. Okay. Next, we're going to use more items again. Now, in this, each one of these is going to be the record. So the things that I want is first name, last name, maybe the letter game. I'm not going to do that for this one. I will do asset barcode and asset name. And I'm just adding them all here. There's no spaces. I'm going to now format them by putting spaces here, or whatever. I might actually want this. I think I want the name, then the barcode. I might split these up here too. And, honestly, you have to kind of finagle with it a little bit. Like I usually like having it in the middle. Add space after. That's not, it might be okay. And yeah, so you'll just have to see. Now with the barcode, this is the one that I actually want to switch fonts. So now in this one, I actually want to switch it to this text. And, we don't want it to cut at all. So we're going to have to adjust the size. So that's 16. I might try these. Well, let's just see what happens when it's at 14. So again, it's a lot that you want to have information in one spot. So you'll just have to make sure that it's what you're wanting. And, you might have to go to preview and then go back. So let's just try this for now. Now here, replicate the labels. That means that this first layout is going to be replicated to all of the other ones. So I'm going to say update all. And you can kind of see that here the next record is there too, and then it's like cut off. That's okay. All this is showing is that now it's the next one and then the next and the next. It'll actually disappear. So let's go to preview. And it looks actually not bad. Let's see. None of these are getting cut off. And even here, now that we see how big these numbers are going to be, I can actually bump it up to probably 20. So I'm going to go back and say for this record, let's make it 20. These ones, the name I think could be a little smaller. Down, down. Those ones were pretty good. Now update all. Now preview. So yeah, here that's looking pretty good. And, just to test it out, you can actually scan one of these. Okay. So now if you want to, you can just double check and make sure it's scanning, which it looks like. I was having a little bit of trouble with it being smaller. So I would say when you print it, just make sure that you are able to scan it. I've done some of these size and it works, but again, that's kind of the purpose of this one. And, I might even, highlight one of these, or let's see, previous, bold, and then update all. That looks pretty good. Again, kind of what I was saying with trying to get it as in the middle as possible for this one. I might just add some spacing before. Ooh, that seems like a lot. Let's try 24. No. Let's go down to 15, 12. Let's try 18. Preview. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I just want it right in the middle, because then sometimes, even if this is the exact one for printing, you can update all. Some of them can get cut off, which is a bummer. So yeah, here we go. So now we have this computer, we have this barcode, and we have the name of the person. So we have this here. Now, if you go over to the recipients and just kind of look at some of the other ones, you might notice something as I push these, that it's just going, instead of recipient 1 starting here, like Wilson is getting moved 1. And so that is expected here. When you go to complete it and print it, it's going to go to 32 on this one, and then the next one is going to update with the next. So we can push complete the merge. You can either print to send directly to the printer or edit individual. When you do edit individual, it'll open up, and then you can see here it goes to 32, and then here's 33. And this is a great way to just double check and see. For example, there might be like a name that has too much like this and kind of gets cropped out. And so, doing a quick spot check might not be a bad idea. Like this one here, I think that would still print off fine, but you might want to, decrease those. And while it could take a while, if you have hundreds and hundreds of pages like this, what you could do in Excel is just find which one is the longest name, or, the most space that takes up, and then find that name in this to see, and either adjust that one or make sure it's there. And once you get to 300, which was the last entry, then there's just going to be some blank here. Unfortunately, you will have some of these labels kind of go to waste in that sense, but it's very nice to be able to do this. You can then send it to the printer. Depending on your printer settings, you probably need to put the labels in the side, like multi-purpose tray, make sure that it says labels, and send it through. Pro tip when you're sending to it, make sure that you're doing single, like 1 per page. I've done it a lot of times where it prints on both pages, and then the one side's the label, the other side isn't, and then I have to go over again, and it gets messy. Like the printer part, it can be a little bit challenging. So I guess also make sure that your printer can handle whatever labels you're using, as some are like laser printers, and some labels need that or a special type. So just be cautious with it. And again, if you're using different labels than this, you might need, you'll see more or less depending on yours. But this is a super helpful way in this example to, give out asset tags at a fairly low cost of just, your time plus whatever those labels were. There are definitely better like metal or stronger adhesive labels too. So I'm not necessarily saying this is the best way to do it, but cost effective wise, it's great. And you can get some pretty nice labels too. So hopefully you find this helpful. Again, there's so many different applications. You can use these, put an address and send out letters, or, have their student's name to send it out, or a parent's name, or so many different options. And it'll save hours if you're doing this by hand. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you in your job and profession. See you in the next one. Bye now.